bracket right now still for the Swiss stage. I know it gets confusing, but NIP Flash yesterday, they were able to upset again, getting a win against Aurora. S2G were brought down to the 1-1 bracket here, and now we see them collide once again. It is a Farsa against a Ling, not just any Ling, it's Hades, and it's an Angel Ling. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to jump into the land of dawn for match number 2. Here we go, S2G versus NIP Flash.
You know, if the Ling doesn't have a good start, NIP Flash is gonna have a hard time. They're gonna have to rely on the Angeling combination to get them through the late game, and at the same time they have a Moskov that's also a late game. So NIP Flash needs to play this safe and at the same time aggressive enough to stop S2G Esports from reaching their early game power spike.
Yeah, I'm actually quite, versed in the Angeling combination. We've seen this a lot in MPL Indonesia. And you guys probably seen the M6 pass around everywhere, wherever you go. And you guys can go and get it right now. The M6 pass is now available, up for grabs for you guys to get. You can actually achieve the level 75, that's a prime skin, with all the other Boxia skins and the avatar border, all for free. So go get yours today.
A lot of skins, a lot of giveaways. Thank you so much, Ramunton. Thank you so much, M6 World Championship. And thank you for this amazing game. Again, NIP Flash, they have the Cho. So in terms of providing a lot of vision for the Ling to actually rotate to wherever he wants to go, it's going to be vital for JPL to provide this information.
It's all about that mid-prio. It's all about canceling the feathered airstrike. And I think, Lofel Trex, Brigitte already brought it up earlier in the panel. There's a Ling, but you don't technically need the Ling to be the one to go on the far side. You have a horse to pop in the Glorious Pathway. You have Cho. And at the end of it all, maybe an SOD too. It's Master Assassin for both the Marksman and the Gold Lane. This is also the comfort pick of Vanex. We have seen though, however, that Bruno does indeed win you games. So S2G, even though they went for, a gamble with the Farsa, and the Bruno is a good safety net that they can rely on here as they get mid-prio to set up for the first neutral objective of the game. Turtle number 1, purple buff, still not taken by Hades.
Hey, S2G Esports starting things off by having control on this turtle pit, but Diablo and JPL is just waiting for Hades to come in the picture. Here comes Hades, just waiting for the hard guard as well. They're just trying to zone him out. Raging Sandstorm coming in from Lunar, and Hades will secure the turtle.
Now it's going to be a attempt at the Blades. Pagu knocked up. More Defiant Blades on. Pagu with Revitalize, trying to sustain over, but it'll still be first blood over to Hades.
Strong start for NIP Flash. I mean, JPL and Diablo just really doing their job, but Lunar gets kicked into that feathered airstrike though. Okay, here comes Owigi Shadow Kill, might be able to bring down Diablo, and Diablo is gonna fall down.
Hey, 1 for 1, S2G make it back to equal on the board. Hades with a kill, Kazue with a kill. Though, Hades did not get the purple buff earlier, right? I mean, so now he's gonna have a very long purple buff, technically. He went for the turtle fight. It was purely just Diablo and JPL creating space for him. So even without purple buff, he was all good there. Now, doesn't look like S2G are trying to go for the orange buff, trying to take what NIP Flash took away from them.
Right now, just JPL just trying to zone out 3 members, making sure for NIP Flash to get the secure. Okay, Kazue will get the kill onto JPL. That was a lot of resources expended, but well worth it for S2G to take down JPL.
Yep, it's going to be another slow game here, I would say, for both these teams. They both should be waiting for the next neutral objective. It'll be a lot of cuts. I do want to talk a bit about this matchup, though. Vanex, the all reliable and MPL SG versus the sharpshooting Sigit Boom, Diablo.
At this point, they're just really trying to go for any of the members that they can see from NIP Flash. They're not afraid to burst down and use up a lot of skills and make sure to send the message to NIP Flash that we won't get bullied at any point of the game.
Vanex is going to be sent into the mid lane as well to catch some more waves, to get to that item power spike quicker. If we take a look at the items, Vanex, not yet with the corrosion sight just yet. The Haas Claw is also still being worked on by Sikibu, but Kazue has finished the Hunter Strike. So that's an item advantage over Hades, who has yet to finish the Berserker's Fury. And turtle number 2 is coming. Despite NIP Flash getting turtle number 1, doesn't seem like they are on that gold lead. They don't have that grasp on the gold lead just yet. S2G looking like they're gonna set up for a big fight mid-prio towards Begin and Lunar.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think NIP Flash, is this really the best composition for you, considering that Curtizi is one of the highly mechanical mid laners all throughout this tournament, and you're just giving him an Angela. So is that really the best lineup for NIP Flash they have to offer up against S2G Esports?
It's a give and take, right? Oh, Tempest of Blades? Okay, Hades will just use it to get away from the shadow kill. But back to the point, man. I feel like, yeah, it's a gamble you're playing. You're putting Kurt TZ, a very mechanical sound player, on an Angela, but it also enhances Hades, who's ridiculous too on those mechanics. This team was once called Hades.
Yeah.
Hades, you know, we're not going to say it here, but, you know, NIP Flash.
Yeah.
Turtle number 2. It does seem like for both of the teams, they both have assassins. They do not want to contest for the neutral objectives. They'd rather just farm up and wait for those power spikes to hit, and then they might go and fight. This might be like a 1 turtle game, 2 turtle game.
Yeah, it's going to be a stalemate. Right now, NIP Flash also considered as the Singapore All-Star team.
Oh, yeah.
And we can expect that, because again, we have to wait for Kazue to scale up, for Hades to scale up, and specifically for NIP Flash, they're really backing on that Angeline combination. And if it fails, if Hades gets picked off and delays his power spike, it's going to be detrimental for their team.
Oh, gank up top!
Oh, Sige boom! The Turkish Triggerman will fall down in hands of 2 members of NIP Flash. Now S2G wants to go for the trade, trying to take down the turtle!
Oh, bursting it down, Kazue gets the retreat down, Diablo with a stun, mid lane, Raging Sandstorm!
And it's gonna connect, but JBL catches it mid-air with the Way of the Dragon. Hades goes in with the Templars of Blades to bring down Lunar as well. And NIP Flash, we thought it was gonna be a stalemate, but right now they're going for the clashes, brawling in the mid lane.
Woo! Just like that, it's another trade on. S2G were the ones to get 2 kills for 1 turtle for NIP Flash. And now it's the opposite. Now it's NIP Flash who are going for the kills. S2G securing the turtle. And Sigiboom just barely surviving, or helping that turret to survive. Kurt TZ, what happened in the mid lane? The feathered airstrike took him real low.
And the kill onto Sigiboom onto the top lane really worked wonders for Vanix. Gave him a lot of space to work with, but JPL saw 5 members of S2G Esports just instantly got deleted in the map.
Quick moves by S2G around the map. These rotations have really helped them get kills, pickoffs around the map, but you can see Hades doing the same thing in the bottom lane as devilish as ever with the trades.
Oh, almost got caught there with the Wiki Shadow kill plus the feathered airstrike. And now they're going to turn Cicerone onto the top lane. AOG going to be committed onto Vanix, but manages to evade that. 3 heroes of S2G, but goes in with a Spear of Destruction, wants to go 1v1 with Siggy Bomb. Here comes the hard guard. Okay, the clash. Oh, look at Hades. Onto the back line. Tempest and Blades.
Coming down already. JPL with the G-Kundo. The turret taken down. NIP Flash using the hard guard. SOD now. Hades walking in again onto Siggy Boom. Just a bit of damage. The Feather Airstrike will shoot them away. But they use that aggression to just get the turret.
And this is the clear advantage of NIP Flash. Even if they're outnumbered at any given moment, Kurt TZ is ready to cast his hard guard, whether onto Vanix, whether onto Hades, and at the same time, they're really utilizing the capabilities of their lineup. They have a Ling and a Moskov that's good when it comes to macro gameplay. So even if clashes aren't going on, they could just play the long game and just go for the split pushes, catch S2G Esports off guard, and right now, Raging Sandstorm is going to connect, plus the Feathered Airstrike going in, ganking up onto Diablo, but he casts his Revitalizing Glorious Pathway on time. He stays alive!
And Hades comes in now, goes in for the assassination. Tempest ablaze in the back. Sigiboom still has to purify in time. Pagu thrown at a spear from Vanix, and it will be a 2-for-1. NIP Flash with the dub in the trade as Hades goes for the purple buff. Just look at Kazue, looking for an angle to probably try to go for the pickoff, but he won't be able to look for it.
And that's a good pickoff, especially considering that the first Lord has spawned, so NIP Flash can just focus on clearing out the minions, gonna get a lot of minion waves pushed so they can position better in this Lord pit. A huge play coming in from NIP Flash to catch S2G Esports off guard, despite S2G actually starting that clash. So NIP Flash, again, going back to their composition, it's easy for them to re-engage and respawn no matter what S2G does to them.
It's very clear from what Begin got, the roam boots here, what they want to do. They want to just stick together and fight. Feathered Airstrike forcing JPL out, but that's a big resource burnt out. Now SOD.
Oh, SOD gonna connect onto Siggy Bomb. Pops the spear right here comes the AOG. He's gonna bring down Siggy Bomb. Just going and working onto Pagu. The Revitalize is there, but Hades goes in with a Semblance of Blaze.
Gets the kill. Pagu is down. Now Kazua's looking for the trade. Lunar trying to screen Hades. But it's not enough. NIP Flash are just too quick with it. And even if Siggy Boom purifies out of 1, there are many more to come. Diablo with the Glorious Pathway, JPL with the G-Kundo, and then Vanix comes in, teleporting behind you. Now it's a Lord. First Lord. Should be taken by NIP Flash. Nothing S2G can really do about it.
Kazue and the rest of the members of S2G Just gonna have to give it away to NIP Flash. And so far, this is still winnable or defable for S2G, and at the same time, as long as they are able to save their mid lane turret and just keep their jungle area away from NIP Flash, Kazooie can still manage to bounce back and later on activate Sigiboom's power spike. Again, this is a Bruno that we've seen win a lot of games, and up against a team like NIP Flash, I mean, S2G Esports, they really need to get the pick off that they really want.
Gotta wait for that power spike for Sigiboom, though. He is 400 gold behind. Vanix has hit his item power spike. That's the holy trinity of the attack speed items. But for Sigiboom on the Bruno, we all know what the real power spike is now. Usually, Haasclaw's Berserkers, all good. Now you gotta wait for that Melfic gun to be a real threat, a 1v5 kind of carry. So S2G, it can still bank on that. Begin already got the Wishing Lantern too, so he should be able to provide some good poke over to Vanix. Vanix has just been so elusive in these skirmishes, man. Waiting on the SOD, getting so much room from Diablo and JPL too. So he hasn't been poked at all by the Feathered Airstrikes.
S2G just gonna make quick work of this Lord down bottom. Holy Shields are still intact. Let's see if NIP Flash will force a clash. Again, JPL has his Flicker, has his Way of the Dragon. Now they're just depriving S2G Esports of the necessary buffs that Kazooie especially needs to scale up quickly with his Hayabusa.
The Melfic gun already secured by Sigiboom, so that's the item we were waiting for S2G. But for NIP Flash, fleeting time too for Curteasy. So a bit more utility to play. The hard guard's going to be on a lower cooldown now, so we can actually look for maybe the cross-map plays around to try to force S2G or punish S2G, who really like to clump up together. So far, even when they're clumping up, they really haven't been able to get the most out of it, right?
Yeah.
NIP Flash have just found ways to split them up or beat them in their front to back. They just dive, man. I don't know how to say it. NIP Flash are local.
Yeah, a lot of credit also goes to the Glorious Pathway, because every time you see the Feathered Airstrike committed, it's always just one or two that connects.
Yep.
And after that, NIP Flash doesn't want to play around the vicinity of the Feathered Airstrike. So NIP Flash really does have a lot of mobility to stay away from the aggressive ultimates that S2G can't pour onto them.
It's mobility and then it's sustain, right? Because when you get poked out, JPL
gets taunted out, and this time gets bursted down by 5 members of S2G. That's one problem crossed out by S2G against NIP Flash.
Everything in the kitchen sink, man. That was 4 ultimates. Poor JPL, man. He just got ambushed like that. But back to the point, mobility, but also sustain. NIP Flash, the reason they've been able to neutralize the Farsa threat was because of Curteasy always healing them back up with the photo.
Yeah.
If you can burst someone down like that, then yeah, the healing doesn't really play into the game that much. If you can one-shot or evaporate the members of NIP Flash like they just did to JPL. Hades will steal the purple buff. This is the benefit of having Hayabusa. You're not really too reliant on the purple buff in the later stage of the game, even in the early game. So Kazooie should still be fine. What's really going to be concerning is the fact that Pathway.
They're going in, Glorious Pathway again, and they're gonna bring down the Turkish Trigger, man! All of a sudden, S2G Esports has to walk away. They have no damage, they have no Pago as well. And NIP Flash will play this by the book, gonna go instead for the second Lord.
That was speed in a flash. S2G just lost their gold laner. You blink and you miss it. NIP Flash are too fast, and for S2G, they've got no peel. Hades secures the second Lord of the game, and this time it will be an enhanced Lord. Even though S2G have great high ground, they should be able to clear out the waves with Sigiboom and Begin on these picks. I don't know about the dive. You try to go for your ultimates on the Lord, and then Mr. Man Vanix comes around, Hades comes around, and Diablo pops in the red carpet for everybody to walk in your face.
And that's the thing, even Vanix voluntarily dives onto the backline just to try and stop the Feathered Airstrike from being fully utilized for the side of S2G Esports. And now NIP Flash has the luxury of having the Enhanced Lord into the middle lane. They can actually take out all inhibitor turrets, or better yet, end the game right now.
That's a base turret in the mid lane taken down. The Feather Airstrike baited out. Diablo goes in.
With a Glorious Pathway and trying to zone out the rest of the members of S2G. They're doing their best to try and clear it out as NIP Flash takes down 2 inhibitors. 1 inhibitor turret left for them to take down.
2 base turrets. Fortunately for S2G, it isn't the far lane, so they should be able to still manage the waves, though it is going to be tough. NIP Flash, though, they're going to stay disciplined with it. Now they're going to bring in another wave up top. Hades is ready. Feather Airstrike.
Goes in with the Templates of Blade, but gets kicked down by JPL as well. Hades continuing his onslaught. 4 blades onto Kazue. Here comes the counter-attack coming in from S2G. In a response, Kazue gets a kill, but Vanix is the main problem of S2G Esports, just focusing on the base. And NIP Flash, one more hit to bring down the Crystal and take this game.
Diabolical from NIP Flash. S2G wanted to brawl it out. They wanted to fight. S2G could not do it. NIP Flash went straight for the base. There was nothing else set in their sights except for that crystal. Every single member went for it. And even though S2G got the free hits on Siggy Boom, even though they got their win conditions towards the end, everything except for Begin dying, it was not enough. At that point, it was 14 minutes and 59 seconds. NIP Flash, they couldn't wait a single second for that 15-minute mark. No, they had to end it right there, right now.
To improve